Nope.
There we go.
I've got my phone open so that
Here we are. So we are live. Welcome, everybody.
Yay! We did it. We did it.
And we did it. I know it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because I just found out that Jodi lives within, live within 40 miles of where I grew up. And so I'm excited that you're here.
Yeah.
That's just wonderful. Yeah. That's wonderful. So I'd like to welcome Jodi and her channel's name is Soul Spa, which I love. And I have listened to some of your poetry, and I know you do it. You do channeling as well, and it's lovely. It's just lovely. That's as an English teacher, I know I love writing, and I love that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I wondered, could I be writing these myself? Could I? And I don't think so. It took a long time. When you start channeling, you start getting messages. If you don't doubt, then
correct. Yep,
it's not actually happening.
And the thing is about it is that all information, all books, all poetry, all music, it's all given to us. It isn't like we invented it, I don't think. I really do think it's creative channeling that we do. So I think that's fabulous. I think that's just fabulous. So how long have you been doing that?
So as I was looking over the dates for today, I wanted to just give you some of the older ones, like when I first started, and then one that I did about America's Stonehenge just 2 days ago, which is very cool. But it looks like February. Only in February I started.
You started in February? Wow.
Yeah.
So everybody's got to know a little bit about what America's Stonehenge is. It is a group of, it was a community that had lots and lots of rocks. I've been there for the summer solstice many times, ushering it in. Yeah. My best friend who passed in 2011, her father owned it. And then her brother now owns it with his wife. And I believe his son and his son's wife also work there. And you must have seen the alpacas that are there as well.
I did. Yes. I did.
Yes.
It was a quick stop.
It's really wonderful. And they take you on a tour and you can see where they have sacrificial stone and they have all kinds of other things there. But it is a magical place, and it's in East Salem, New Hampshire. So I think it's fabulous you were there today. My goodness. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was so cool. And it's like right in the middle of New England.
It is. It's at the heart of it. Yeah. And, many of the stones and the things that are there, are from they're ancient ruins. I don't remember how long ago they determined these were, but when his dad found this piece of land with all these rocks on it is when he started working it. And that would have been in the 50s. So I don't believe anybody knew anything about it before that. So, anyway, yeah,
it was very cool. They were quarrying a lot of the stones in the 1800s.
Oh, they were.
So they had to reconstruct some of it, and but it really is amazing. And awesome. I went to Stonehenge within the past year, last September.
Okay,
actually went to Stonehenge, and I went to Avebury in the UK. And going to this place has the same, I want to say,
it has a feeling to
energy.
It. Yeah, the energy.
The same feel. It is so amazing, but it's not all roped off.
No,
you can walk
in it. You can go under it. Yep.
You don't have to fight the tourists with the cameras. You also don't have to go over the ocean.
That's correct. That's correct. We have our own.
For any of us that are here.
We have our own right here. And when I was there for the harmonic convergence in 1987, and we were all there in the middle of the night waiting for the sun to come up, and the way that the stars come in. And I mean, it's just a fabulous, fabulous place. And Wayne Rich, you probably know about America's Stonehenge because he lives in Vermont. And so,
cool.
Yes. And so my friend's brother runs it and owns it. And it's just a fabulous place. And so before you went there, you wrote a poem about it. Is that what you said?
Well, it is funny. I don't know how I should say it, but I open up the Akashic records.
Okay.
And I open up the records and get advice for myself or get advice
Good.
for my clients. And so I
Uh-huh.
just started, listening, and the download would come in like a word and then a phrase and
Mm-hmm.
then a sentence. And then it started coming faster. I'm like, I better write this down or I'm going to forget it, and I hear so many
Sure.
channels start,
Sure.
the
Uh-huh.
same way.
Yep.
So I'm not really writing poems. I feel like I'm dictating them, you
Yes.
know,
I
I'm
agree
just
with you.
taking, and I'm a scribe.
Right.
So before I went up to New Hampshire
Mm-hmm.
for this weekend, we just went up to, for the second time, about
So
10 years
Wayne
ago.
went
Very
there,
cool.
yeah, about 10 years ago. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to see that. Yeah. I've been there many, many
Yeah.
times. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so I thought, I've been to Stonehenge, I've been to Avebury. Why go there? I've been to the big places, and
Yes.
the
Yeah.
universe puts it literally right on my path. Like we were going right up, right by it.
Uh-huh.
No excuse not to stop,
That's right.
and it really was worth it. So your friend's family does an amazing job,
That's
amazing
good.
job.
I'm
So
glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it.
yeah,
We'd go down to Salem from Derry because that's where I lived in Derry. And we'd go down
yeah.
and we would go there and then we'd go over and get Granite State potato chips, which used to be the best chips in the world. They don't make them anymore, as far as I know. But you could smell the potato chips in the town of Salem. It would waft through the entire town.
Oh my
It
God.
was so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, yeah. Everybody likes your house. They think it's really cool.
Oh, well, it's an old Victorian
Yeah.
in Central Mass. So
Yes, it's
yeah, we got a lot of
lovely. It's
pictures, and
lovely. Uh-huh.
let's
Look at
see,
the
my
big
dog
windows.
is with
Oh,
me.
yeah. There's your doggy. Yeah.
Yeah, he hangs out
That's
with me.
awesome. So what brought you to YouTube? Tell us. Tell us what
Yeah.
brought you.
So
Yeah.
basically, so what I did is before I went up to New Hampshire,
Uh-huh.
and I said, all right, I want to know what my spirit guides say about
Yes.
the new Stonehenge, or the
Uh-huh.
American Stonehenge. And this is what I got. And I also asked what's the story kind of behind it a little bit.
Okay.
So this is on 812. It says, for once there was a starlight hub where one could see all of the above.
Mm.
It was here a home was kept, many years and decades spent, beholding the wonders of what living here means. The brand new Terra, Terra, awaiting the freeze. It
Mm.
happens, as they say, every 26K, but it won't happen soon, like they say. What is here to be felt is heart and head, the vibratory resonance most felt whilst one's in bed. Is what the
Mm.
goal is here, to live and love free from fear, to engage and wonder about it all, not pick apart and fight over it all. But we have a lot of work to do, but we aren't worried. The light is in you. And I got Andromedans. So,
Okay. So, oh, wow. Which I'm sure that's the other thing about this family that runs it.
yeah.
Big UFO people. Big, big,
They
big,
ha-
big, big.
they
Yeah.
have to be. Like
They
when
have
you
to be.
when you
Yeah.
see these stones and what they did, and it very
Mhm.
much reminded me of England and the Chalice Well, and how the
Yep.
the water runs through the rocks, and it's incredible.
It is
It's
incredible.
incredible.
It is. When I was a kid, we used to
Yeah.
go to the fireworks. I don't like them anymore, but when I was a kid, I did. And we would be standing out there and we were looking for UFOs. And that was in the 60s. So they had a lot of
Right.
people come to their house that were very metaphysical and spend time
Mhm.
down there at that time when they were just not building it, but putting it sort of back together. But it is,
Yeah.
it's amazing that you even mentioned that. Used to be called Mystery
So
Hill
cool.
Caves a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, Mystery Hill.
Yes. Mystery
Yeah, so
Hill.
Mystery
Yeah.
Hill. Your poem is wonderful, and it tells me also, Jodi, that our channeling, as I was mentioning in the beginning, when we channel, it's a lot like how we are creative. If some people come in up with books, some people write music, some people write poetry, some people don't know where they get their ideas from, and all of it is from the divine. Really, we're just a conduit for that kind of thing. And so I really
Yeah.
love that you're doing it with poetry. That's good. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
really
and I've
wonderful.
never been I can't say I've always been a writer, but I've always been pretty good at writing if I could sit still for a minute.
Uh-huh.
And
I get
the
it.
universe has had us all sit still for a minute through the pandemic and
Definitely.
all of that. And now I'm meditating, which I never thought that I would ever meditate,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
this
It
just
takes
makes
structure.
sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So is that when you kind of went within and these things started coming for you when you during the
Yeah.
pandemic when you were home? Yeah.
During the
Yeah.
pandemic, I went through the dark night of the soul.
Oh, you poor thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just my entire world fell apart, every single part of
Uh-huh.
it. And so
Understand.
um
Understand.
I I basically, when you go through the dark night of the soul, you don't call it the dark night of the soul until the divine saves you. Otherwise, you were
That's
just
right.
depressed and had a
That's right.
breakdown or
You're
something like that.
absolutely right. Yep.
If
Yep.
you've gone through dark night of the soul, like, spirit contacted you, and
That's
got
right.
through to you in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what happened.
Uh-huh.
Probably 2 years
Wow.
ago, and then when my mom passed last year, I
Mm,
started getting messages from her.
wonderful. So
Yeah.
was she aligned with I want to say metaphysical because that's really what it is in a lot of ways. Was she aligned with that as well when she was alive?
She was very, very Catholic.
Oh,
Very, very Catholic. Do you want to
okay.
hear a story? I'll tell you.
Sure, of course, of
All
course.
right, you want to hear all
Uh-huh.
right. So my mom's story really is, she was very, very Catholic. I was raising my 4 children, and she was always there. She and I were like this, and we
Mm-hmm.
were pretty much raising the children together. She and I and the 4 kids, foster kids, adoptive kids, a
Oh,
dog, all of it. And we would
yeah,
just throw
yeah.
everybody in the minivan and go off on our adventures and
Oh,
and
cool.
do our thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she was getting more and more in touch with Jesus and Mary. She's gone to Jerusalem. She brought me to Medjugorje. If people have ever heard of
Mm,
Medjugorje, like,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she's been on pilgrimages, and her faith was so, so strong.
Yeah.
And she said, I want to give up something for the world. I want to that's what Catholics believe, is their suffering is never in vain. If you offer up your suffering, it is for something.
Okay.
So she said, I'm going to offer up suffering. And I was like, all right. Didn't understand what that
Sure.
really meant, except I was like, okay, she's going to do whatever she wants to do anyway, because that was my mother.
That's
She
right.
said she was going to do something, she was going to. But
Uh-huh.
then a couple of months later, she said, Jodi, Jesus came to me last night
Okay.
in the middle of the night. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, really? And she's like, yeah. And so he said, Sandy. And of course, she was just so devoted. And
Uh,
she said,
uh,
and I just sat right up and I said, yes, Lord. Are you ready? And she said, yes, Lord. And he said, okay. And she went back to sleep.
okay.
Fast forward 2 years later, she was having symptoms of, we weren't sure if she was just, her anxiety was getting really bad, or if she was starting to have Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that. But she basically she got early onset frontal lobe dementia,
Oh.
and she was 55.
Oh, that's too young. Oh my God.
It is
I'm
too
so
young.
sorry.
And
Oh, wow.
I always just thought, it's so sad. It's so sad. And then when she was going through this and she's in the nursing home and I'm experiencing the dark night of the soul
Sure you
and
are.
all of
Yeah.
this was happening at once, I'm like, why? Why?
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm on the other side, I see it so clearly that she had offered that up.
She did.
She really did.
Got
And
what she offered. She did. Yeah.
she got what she was offered. Like, and she
Mm-hmm.
had early onset frontal lobe dementia for almost a decade.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And she I mean, she suffered, but she
Yeah.
didn't suffer in many, many ways that I've seen other patients suffer.
Uh-huh.
She would
Okay.
always hug and kiss people, and I just really feel like she was protected. I
Yeah.
really, really do.
Sure.
So,
Did she
so, so
remember you,
protected.
Jody, near the end? Did she remember
Yes.
you? Yeah, she did. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
and when I
Yeah.
was at her bedside with my aunt, who was closest to my mother in the
Mhm.
world, I saw Padre Pio
Mhm.
and Pope John Paul II come and take her. It was or greet her. It was
Yeah.
just
Oh
all
my
of these things.
goodness.
It
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Beautiful
like
story of resilience. You're right, Terry. Yeah. It is. It's amazing. Wow. So it makes a lot of sense to me that she is your one of your guides, and you can hear her and she talks to you because she
yes.
sacrificed herself, but now she's also doing the same thing over there in a way.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
sacrificing for the greater good is what she's doing.
For the greater
So
good.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah,
For
that
all of
is
us.
just amazing. Wow.
Yep.
But I
So I
can see
started
why that
getting
would be
messages from
darkening.
my mom.
Oh, good, good.
I
I'm glad.
started
I'm
getting
so
messages
glad.
from my mom, and then I'm like, "Who's saying this?" Like, it felt different. The different energies felt
Sure. Yeah.
funny, but
Uh-huh.
hers in the beginning were always, "Keep going, Jodi. You can do it," and,
Yeah. Yeah.
"I'm here with you," and, uh, so I have
Protecting
some
you.
of those poems
Mhm.
that I wrote down too and looked up for you. Those are
My mom died at age 68, but I was 33, and that was a long time ago because now I'm 68. But
yeah.
I I always felt like, I missed out on so much because, my daughter is now 46 and I wasn't with my mother at 46. So I can see some of the things that, you might miss out on. But it's an amazing story. Your mother must have somehow known as well that did she know that she had this dementia before she
She
sacrificed for you?
knew for years, and she would tell my father, "I think I'm
Okay.
losing my mind. I think I
Okay.
have dementia. I think
Uh-huh.
I."
Yeah.
She hit her head um, in an ice storm. Of course, in New England, she
Oh,
was out in an
sure.
ice storm, and she just fell backwards right on her head. The crack, you could hear it all through the parking lot.
Oh, the poor
Um,
thing. Oh my God.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Wow.
And then after that, but yeah, she was saying, I don't feel right. I don't.
Yeah. And you know what that did as well, I believe it put her in an altered state. I mean, I'm no psychic detective here, but it just seems like there are people that opens them up. And in her case, she went with the religion and not necessarily the spiritual. But if Padre Pio came in and Jesus, of course,
Oh,
people channel
yes.
Jesus all the time. They don't have to be Christian. So
Oh, right.
yeah. Yeah.
Mine is
And Pope,
Yeshua,
yeah,
usually.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of people,
I
and
get
Mother
Yeshua.
Mary. There's some people that channel Mother Mary, and there's some people that channel,
Yep.
I love the Buddha. That's my big thing. So, I just,
Cool.
I think we all have those that we sort of look up to. But I'm not saying I don't look up to the others. It's just that one I'm closer to than another. But it sounds to me
Right.
like your mother really, I mean, there's no way to prove it, but it sounds like your mother cracked
Yeah,
open her crown chakra in a way. And unfortunately,
yeah,
the frontal got ruined because of it. But wow, that's an
yeah,
amazing story, Jodi. Thank you that's very personal.
yeah.
And thank you for sharing it. That's very, very
My
nice.
pleasure. I think my mother would, she wouldn't ever tell people that
I'm
story
sure she
herself.
didn't. They
So
think she
I
was
would like to
crazy.
tell for her.
Sure, sure. And
Yeah.
and my mom, she was a person that read Ruth Montgomery books way back in the day when nobody else believed in walk-ins or metaphysical stuff or anything like that.
Oh,
And she was always, and when my brother was in Vietnam, she woke up 2 nights in bed screaming his name, and both nights he had been in an accident. So my mother was totally psychically attuned to a lot of these things. But
yeah.
back in the 70s, you didn't really talk about it. You just didn't talk about it.
No,
No.
no, not if you wanted to have friends
That's right.
at the local grocery
Even
store.
now, there are people that shun you if you talk about it. So, a friend of yours fell on
True.
ice like that and got an ear bleeding. Oh yeah, I believe it, Wayne. It's very, very, very. Oh really, Terry? Your mom loved it too. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
She
So
loved med.
yes,
Yeah.
I
My
just want to
mom
say hello.
loved.
Yeah. I want to say hello to a few folks here today. I want to say hi to Juanita, Sandy, and Viviani, and Deanne, and who else? Trudy's here. Hi, Trudy. I'm glad you're here. Nancy
I love
Vasquez.
you, Trudy.
Wildflower Wind, Wayne Rich, and Pierrette is here. Hi, Pierrette. Happy anniversary to you. And Wiki's here. Okay, thank you. And who else came in? Gina M. and Wildflower Wind. I think I said, well, hi, Katie Arbuckle, and Sonia Pinola, and Sharon Sipin, mom of 2 dogs. Thank you all for being here with us today. Yes. So, Jodi, how long have you had your channel, honey? Hi, old soul.
Over a year now.
Okay.
But it used to be about more about narcissistic abuse, because that was a very big part of my dark night of the soul.
Okay. Oh my God.
But now, yeah. So I have a vast knowledge about that. Yeah. And I don't think that we come into this level of connection without narcissistic abuse. I've never met anyone.
I agree with you. It's so interesting because my daughter is a licensed mental health counselor out here in Seattle. And what the 2 things she focuses on are narcissistic fathers, because her father is still narcissistic, or people, if there is another person in the family, of course, and grief. Those 2 things, that's her total package.
Wonderful.
And so
Wonderful.
I'm really happy to hear that you were able to work through some of that by talking about it and presenting it to other people. That's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've wanted her to come on and talk about it, but she's very camera shy, so she won't come on.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of amazing. You can't, I always say that you can't talk your way out of it. There has to be, the body and
some work done. Yeah.
And some work done getting rid of the grief. But there's a new ICD-9 code and diagnosis of, I forget what it's called, but more of a long grief.
Okay. A
long grief, specifically because of,
narcissistic
I wish
abuse.
I could think of the name. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Extended grief syndrome or something, and it came specifically because of narcissistic abuse, that you have to unravel, unwind, and rewire your brain, and it takes longer.
Well, and then we have this person.
Take a pill.
Yeah, but then we have this person that seemingly was running the country that is exactly that, a malignant narcissist, and we're all traumatized by that in a whole other venue, So wow,
we're traumatized by that for sure, but we're also people don't ICD-9 are. That's true.
It's long-term grief, right? It's a diagnosis. Is it a diagnosis code?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Okay. A diagnosis.
A diagnosis. Thanks, Gina. Yep.
DSM-5 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. An old soul was left after leaving a narcissistic spouse. I think it's more prevalent than we ever realized. And
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know. Sorry you had to deal with that. So you did that first, and then you brought in sort of your channeled poems. And what other kinds of things hold your interest?
So I do past life regressions.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
I do the Dolores Cannon past life regressions, and the second part of that is talking to your higher self, or sometimes somebody's spirit guides will come in, so it's not just their higher self. I've had Isis come in, Elijah, Metatron. It just so very cool.
QHHT is that what you're doing? Quantum healing. Okay. We had another guy that was on a couple of weeks ago, and he also does that. And I've had it done. And Freddie Mercury came through like I wanted him to, and talked to me for quite a while.
So cool.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So I do sessions online as well.
Okay.
So technically, you can't call it QHHT if it's virtual. Did you do yours in person or virtual?
Mine was in person. Yeah.
In person. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you call it then? Just past life healing or past life
Yeah,
regression?
past life
Oh,
regression or BQH. Somebody made a whole
a whole different thing about
company
it.
on BQH, which is Beyond Quantum Healing, and it's
Okay,
literally Dolores Cannon's
sure.
structure, but you can do it online.
You
I
can
mean,
do it
Dolores,
online.
she didn't even like the telephone, you know, she didn't like
Yeah.
any technology. She didn't,
Well,
but
yeah, she was
boy,
like born in the early 30s or late 20s, wasn't she? Yeah. So I
yeah,
understand. Yeah.
yeah, I love her to
Wow.
pieces.
So Katie says, I get the metaphysical from both sides of my family. On my mother's side, can tell when people die, and I got the details from spirits. Oh my goodness, Katie.
Oh, I want
So
to hear
you,
all about it.
I know. Are you? I'm guessing, Katie, that you know that before someone's going to die, or do you just get the feeling that they're gone? That would be interesting to know. But that's wonderful. Wow.
Right.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Old Soul says, thank you for sharing your experience with the dark night of the soul. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so embarrassing, and it comes with so much shame, you know, to have to go through all of that. And the more we talk about it, the less shame there is. I
Oh,
feel like,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah,
No, definitely.
because
And that's why I like the fact that this is the forum we can go through. We've all gone through something, and we're all not perfect. And there is a lot of shame around things. So
oh
I'm
yeah,
pleased that
why didn't you
that's
do this or why didn't you do that, or
you
you know,
could have done this, you should have done this. No, you aren't in my body. You don't know. That's
that's
right.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
Sonia, my daughter, after waking from a coma, then weeks later started talking at 4, said, after I said you almost died, she said, I did with Jesus, with about 10 friends around her in bed. Go back to your mom. Oh my goodness. I'm missing the next part of this. Where is this?
Okay.
Oh, won't have, or she won't have a Christina Maria no more. I never called their middle names, told her I'll be right back, had to walk out overwhelmed and cried like a baby. What a story, Sonia. Oh my goodness. And the
That
young
is
ones,
amazing.
yeah, the young ones are the ones that
What are we talking
remember.
about?
They remember.
Yeah,
Um,
they're so
so
pure,
pure.
and they still
Yeah.
have that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
and it
That
is
is.
amazing. I don't know, in your past life regression, did you go and see what you were between the lives? That's my favorite part.
I did. And it was the minute that I was released from the body, and then they said, what did you die from? And so forth. This was a few years ago, but I still remember it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember instantaneously knowing what my lesson was. There was no question. This life
Right.
had this lesson. Easy to see because I'm up there in that middle
Yeah.
space, It did. It
Yeah.
felt good. It was what I experienced was more like walking around in a fog, but felt very loved. And she
Mhm.
then just brought me into another one. And but it was all of them that she brought me into made a lot of sense in things that I love. The time periods I
Yeah.
really love and the
Yeah.
interests that I love, like
Yeah.
Victorian England. That was a big thing for me. And there were
So
other
many
ones.
of us.
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
many of us. Victorian England and
And
or
that's why you
Egypt.
love your house
Like,
so much, because it reminds
yeah.
you of your past life. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. That is amazing. Um, so you also are able to go into your own Akashic records and read on your own past lives. Is that right?
Yes. You know,
Yeah.
I've had 3 past life regressions done. All of
Hmm.
them were a little bit different. Different practitioners do them a
Yep,
different way. Like,
they
my
do.
favorite thing is to go in between the lives and really explore
Sure.
in between.
Yep.
And that has been amazing, and talking about different planets, that people are
Yeah.
gone to, or going to
Yeah.
the sun. Like, it's just fascinating that
I bet
it
it
is
is.
fascinating to me.
Yeah.
But going into the Akashic records for myself, I haven't really asked about my past lives there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I had an interesting situation. I was living in Virginia Beach near the Casey Foundation, which is all about all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they gave me a practitioner that agreed to read for myself and my brother at the same time, because we wanted to know what lives we lived together. And a lot of people would say, no, can't do it. Well, this lady said, okay. And it was amazing because what I didn't see, he did see. We were on one time, we were like in the Swiss Alps or something like that. And there was a wagon there and he was helping me. And the next thing you know, he was gone. And he said, I died. The wagon came back and hit me and I'm gone. And I'm like, why did you leave me by myself?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And another time he went, this was not good because the lady had to keep telling him, you're just watching this. He was buried alive in a casket. And he woke up and he's in this casket and he can't breathe, of course. And now no one's going to ever hear him and he's going to die there. And she said, I'm going to move you forward now because you don't need to be going through that. But it was, he had a very strong feeling of claustrophobia in his life. Can you wonder why, So
of course. Did he after that?
He wasn't as afraid of it, or he wasn't as disturbed by it as he was prior to that. That's right. Yeah.
That makes sense. And it's hard for us practitioners to really figure out how much we can say, oh, you are just an observer. You will not feel anything while you're going through this. And so then the more they experience it, the more healing they get.
That's true.
But if you're saying, oh, you can't, you won't, if they're already experiencing it and you can't get them down, you better just move it ahead. And at least that little part that they got.
Yeah.
Helps.
Yes. That should be enough
lifetime
to remember. Yeah. To get, and I had Akashic records done by a man named Bob Brungens, who actually a lot of people know here. And I have a really huge fear of fish. It's the weirdest fear anybody that I know has ever had. But I don't like their mouths and their eyes. I just don't, they scare the crap out of me. And
they're weird.
He did a regression for me. And he said that I was like a fisherman in a fishing village. And I went out and brought in a bunch of fish and gave it to the community. And everybody died from, it was poisonous or something. There was something wrong with the fish. And they blamed me. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes total sense.
So, I mean, I still don't like them, but I had a dream about them the other night because I have a dream show that I do on Wednesday nights. And I saw fish in my dream that were walking on their fins. And I'm in the dream
that way.
I'm in the dream. And I say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. So, and I knew it was like I knew I was in a dream, but these fish weren't going to go away. And so I just had to deal with it. So I was dealing with it. So I could see that the dealing with it still works now. And even in so much time later. So
yeah, the progression of it.
The progression. So you were hit by a drunk driver, 80 to 100 miles an hour, 8 miracles in the wreck. I was pregnant, hit the windshield twice with my head cut and 3 girls in the back seat. Did testimonials.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, Sonia. You've had a dark night of the soul. Not that we all haven't in some way or another. It doesn't matter what that precipitous event is. We tend to all go through something that just makes us feel as though we're hopeless, helpless, and wow, that's amazing.
And just why?
Yeah.
Just why? Yeah.
Yep.
Sonia, that's
so
amazing.
Wildflower, if Jodi is doing mediumship readings, can she connect with my mom who passed away early this year? I'm not sure if she can. I can ask.
I don't do mediumship.
Okay.
I'll channel when I open the Akashic records. So I'll channel for someone, for a client. It kind of takes a little bit though.
It takes the time. It
does take time. And usually my Akashic records readings are more about healing energy.
Good.
And and then the client gets a poem, which usually always actually answers their question, what the big pressing question is. Or there'll be a vision or
Nobody
something
else
like
does
that.
that kind of thing. That's so awesome. Honestly, it really is. I have Jodi's information. Cool. If you're ever wanting to make an appointment with her, she'll be happy to set that up for you. And I know that they're all over.
I mean, I could try, but I'm not a medium.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But what stories? Honest to goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I We aren't doing really past life stuff today, Katie. I'm really wanting to introduce Jodi to you and her channel to you. And of course, you're welcome to set up anything with her. We can pull some cards.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
not a problem. But Deanne, what's your fear of snakes about? It makes it hard. I think that when we're kids, we hear, "Oh my God, a snake!" Ah, and we get programmed. I mean, I may be totally wrong. I don't like them either. But my fish, it's a fear. It's a horror. I can't catch my breath. I can't. If I
Yeah.
see a snake and it's
It's just
over
too big.
there, I'm okay. Yeah.
Yep.
But if I saw a snake right at my feet, I would be the same way. I'd be scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All
Right.
right. So we've got a couple questions coming in. Thank you so much. But yeah, what a great. I've had several dark nights of the soul. I think my worst one was in about 2002 to 2003. I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have a job. I didn't have all these things, and I remember trying to cope with letting it go, and I couldn't let it go because it was too raw, and that's the hardest part of letting go during a dark night. You can't really do it if you are in what they call uh, Maslow's levels of hierarchy, and in the
Right. If
levels,
you're in survival mode.
if you're in survival mode, you can't do nothing. I mean, you can't have a good conversation with someone. You can't really have sex with somebody. You can't,
No.
you can't be
No.
spiritual because you're just in survival mode. And it's hard to follow the practices that people tell you to do when you're in that situation. But once things
and everybody has an opinion on and advice for what you should do, and
yeah. Yes, they do. They definitely do. Just like when you say you have a cold and everybody tells you what their cold remedy is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't always. Oh, okay. So your mom is terrified of snakes. Okay. Well, I tell you what happened to my mother. She was standing in a garden and she saw a snake in the garden. And at the same moment, the neighbor's dog came up and touched the back of her leg with its nose.
Oh my God, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Oh my God, the poor thing. I thought she was going to have a heart attack. I really did. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got this question from Nancy. Is it safe to travel to Hawaii Big Island in January? My daughter wants to visit her grandfather. Yeah, we can pull some cards on it. Did they suffer over there at all from any fires? Because I thought it was both the Big Island and Maui that was going through a problem with not as bad as in Maui, but yeah. Let's see what the cards, if the cards say anything.
All right. And I'll look here, Wayne Rich. I got a life back then too.
Oh, really?
I freak out when latex balloons pop. I'm assuming it has to do with a past life, maybe, but also PTSD. When
the noise,
those loud. Yeah, I was never, skittish or whatever, but I jump at everything now. It's not as bad in the last couple of years, but
we've gone through so much trauma. We've got to have collective trauma. I really believe we have collective trauma. So Nancy, I'm getting timing, of course. So I would say if she's going to go, she probably should wait till maybe 30 days, 31 days to get her plane ticket to go, to see how it's going, to check in on the weather and so forth. But that is a beautiful time of the year to go if you can. Not as many.
Yeah.
And it says you are protected. So she would be protected if she went, but she still needs to make sure she checks with timing. And the good part is the risk would be worth the reward. That's what I get. All right. What you got?
I got the Ace of Cups.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Look at this deck is so beautiful too. And it just seems very.
It is.
I say, go for it.
Yep. There you go. Hopefully there are no other problems over there. With all these earth changes, it's hard to know what and where we're going to be going,
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else. Here's just a comment from I'm so interested in the Akashic records. Been trying to tap in with meditation. Do I need to say a prayer to help them on? You know, I
Yes.
just read Linda Howe's book, and she has a prayer in there that you can use to get you.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I have two different prayers that I use, and both of them give messages. It's a different, it's like a different frequency
Uh-huh.
for, and I
Oh,
just kind
okay.
of ask, like, which one am I supposed to use
Yeah.
at certain times, but they both work.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I don't have to use the prayer to open the records. I just get messages, but they are much stronger when I do the prayer.
Sure. That's what this book
Sometimes things
said.
will just come. Yeah.
Yeah. In my book club,
Yeah.
we read the book, and some of the girls tried it with the prayer and everything, and they were able to get somewhere with it. And
Yeah.
others weren't so lucky, but I think it just takes time, Samantha, and practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right. So Wayne, you did a past life regression with Suzanne in World War I. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I resonate. I can resonate with that. Everybody might say that they have sort of a Titanic memory, because I have a lot, but it's because my ancestry, my grandfather was supposed to be a baker on that ship, and they canceled him and put somebody else on the ship. So because that's what he did at that time. Yeah. Yeah. So it was that
Wow.
close. And I had a very good friend actually who also, not relative, but my good friend Rick, he was in Connecticut on 9/11, and he and his family were on their way out west. And he said, "No, we're not going to go. We're not. No, I just don't want to go. I know we're not." And the family got really mad at him. And that was the one that hit the towers. So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
You have to really listen to your intuition always, because it usually doesn't steer you wrong. It usually does, as long as you're not operating from fear. And
well, that's the key to discern. Are you operating
right.
from fear when your nervous system is so out of whack? You can't trust your intuition. You have no idea what it is.
That's correct. That's correct.
You have no idea. It's kind of like if you're in a car and you've got, flat tires, you can't tell if the road is bumpy or if it's your tire. You don't know, and that's how we are.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Angels and guides for the next few months.
Yeah. And I just want to put this here for a second. Old soul, I hope it must be that there's something triggering your anxiety, and I'm sorry that that's happening. Sometimes we have to walk into it in order to heal it, and yet at the same time, that's your choice, not ours. So if you're feeling it and you need to step off, you do it, because we don't want you to be uncomfortable at all. So
yeah, sure. Yeah. And I don't know what subject. So
I think it was narcissistic. She's the one that had the narcissistic ex-husband, and
sure. Okay.
Yeah,
that
so,
makes
yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay. Nope. This isn't the first. Sorry, there was one with Sonia, and I had it up there, and I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. And then we'll do the next one, I promise. Can you get a message from your angels for the next few months? Yes. Oh, Katie, suffer accusations. I'm sorry, dear. Wow. Okay, Deanne, I've got it. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here for you, Sonia. I'm going to use angel cards. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. Sonia, are you going through big changes now? Are you anticipating changes?
Yeah, let us know, Sonia.
Yeah.
I'm
pulling cards.
I've got divine light work. You're working with divine light work. Look at that. You've got so much divine light, you could hardly see yourself there. Yes, Sonia says. Yeah. Personal development. Okay. You're walking through this. We just got out of this energies of 8/8, and you're taking a walk right through. Yep. And focus on crystal clear intentions. There you go. That's what I get for you. Yeah.
Is moving part of it? Moving jobs or moving home or anything like that?
Oh, yep. Let us know. I'll let you know when I see it in the chat. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, because that will depend on how I read these.
Are you moving, dear? Are you moving somewhere?
Moving.
Yeah.
Moving job or moving home or just because I got the tower.
Oh.
Yep, that flipped out. And then the sun.
Oh my God. So she's rebuilding something.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then in between the Six
Oh.
of Swords.
Six of Swords.
See.
Okay.
Six
All
of
right.
Swords, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I never
that
really
looks
worry when I
beautiful.
see the
That looks
tower
beautiful to
because,
me.
yeah, when I see the
Not when it's
tower, I
followed
said,
by the sun.
yeah, no, perfect. Honestly.
It's a good tower. It's a good change.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Trying to
Trying
be
to be
more
more
connected
connected
to
to spirit.
All right. Okay. So you're not moving anyway, but you're maybe moving in your direction of how you want to live your life.
Moving towards spirit. I mean,
Yeah.
look at that.
Absolutely. Oh, beautiful. That's Ra, isn't it? Is that
Yep.
Ra, the sun god? Yeah. All right. That's cool.
Yep.
Wow. Thank
It's beautiful.
you. It
Beautiful.
is.
Yeah. People, when they see the tower, they don't
They
think
freak
that
out.
it can
Well,
be a
that and
good
death.
tower.
Yeah. Death always
It can be
freaks
a good
people out
tower.
too. Yeah.
Some big surprise that the universe gives you. It's always people think, oh, it's a cup or but no, sometimes the tower is a really big,
Yeah.
divine moment of inspiration,
Moment.
like something
right.
where, yeah.
Mom of two dogs has a job interview tomorrow. How will it go? Will I be offered the job? Okay, we'll see what it comes up with. Hope so, Mom of two dogs, as long as you want to do that. Maybe move, but you don't know that. Okay.
Yes. Do you have other jobs that you want? Because it looks like you're going to be making a choice. Feel big shifts. Yeah, for sure. Big shifts. Yeah.
Mom of two dogs, do you have a choice? I think it's that she's asking you that. Okay. Yes, it is necessary. You're right.
Yep.
All right.
And welcome.
Yeah. Wow. I get tears. I'm thinking that might make you feel better though. I think that the tears are tears of joy because the next card is the heart. So I'm not thinking you're heartbroken. I think you're just, oh my God, thank you. There are others. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're going to be able to choose.
Choose. Yep. Follow your gut because this is the DNA card, but remember that we can process what it is we feel about something if we listen to our gut. And of course, that's part of our DNA. So yes, there you go. Just tell them, I'm entertaining some other offers.
Yes. Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's the way it is. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're the
Good
boss
luck,
of
though.
the
Good luck. I hope you get what you really would like to get. Yes. Hello, Pirate. Yes. Okay. We can do that. Deanne just wonders, is it possible to see what we looked like in a past life? Have you ever brought anybody over to a mirror?
No, they just describe what they look like, what they're
do?
wearing. Yeah.
Okay.
Whether they're male, female, whether they're healthy, whether they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With me, they had me start at the feet and look at my shoes and then come up. I never saw my face though.
Yeah.
I never saw my face, but I knew if I was a man or a woman. But I bet there are people that can probably see what they were. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories on YouTube about young children remembering past lives and remembering their name, remembering what they did. And it's amazing. And then one kid, he was a pilot, I guess, and he had a best friend that was still alive. And he met that guy and he knew exactly who it was amazing. I mean, it was just blow your mind.
There are so many cool stories.
There really are. Yeah.
Love YouTube. All about YouTube all the time.
Yeah. Yep. So a card for the week. All right, Pierrette, we'll be happy to do it. Let me see if I've missed anybody that wanted something read. Let me know, please. Thank you for your conversations with each other and with us.
It is
Oh,
fun.
here we go. Corey Ray. I just saw yours. I'll ask it next. And let's see, I don't see if there's anybody else here. All right.
Yep.
All right. So we'll go here to Pierrette. All right. So Pierrette's 19th wedding anniversary
so pretty
today. Yeah. Happy anniversary, my dear friend. Okay. Oh, wow.
I'm getting a very stable week. Just
okay.
Very stable. I almost want to say boring. like just a really nice, uneventful, don't worry about things week.
Okay. That's awesome. I have relationship harmony for you this week. And isn't that interesting because it's your anniversary? So absolutely that would come out. But
yeah.
I'm getting You Are the Rainbow Bridge. So, and I know you are. She's very psychic. She has her own channel here. Yes. And she works with a lot of us. And so I think, you know that difference between the this side and the other side. You're right there at that bridge. And they want you to make sure you drink a lot of water and you take care of yourself during this week. And that's just for everybody, really. Everybody should always be drinking water and having a good week. And she says, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. Good.
Yeah. And don't we all need those reminders, especially about the water?
Yeah, definitely. All right. 2 more weeks to your 31st. Oh, wow. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jodi.
Oh, no, that's okay. And then the Empress and the Six of Wands.
Oh, beautiful. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
There you go. So congratulations, Wayne. 31-year anniversary coming up. That's fabulous. Do you know how hard that is to find people that have been married that long? Really is.
Yeah.
It's hard to find people married that long. Yeah.
That's true.
All right. Yes, you're right, Gina. Sometimes a no big week is exactly what we need. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So Corey Ray wonders, do we see her son finding work as a personal trainer in September? And will he enjoy it and be a smooth transition? So, Corey, we can't really go into his energy, but we'll go into the energy around the job and see what it tells us, because this is for entertainment purposes only. So let's see what we can find out for him. My dog thinks it's time to eat dinner, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing.
What's your dog's name?
I actually have 3 dogs. I have 2 with me today, and I have Caramel and Zoe. And Caramel is, I started him on Farmer's Dog, that kind of food, and it's like I gave them, truffles, and they love it. Good dogs, they can't wait to eat. They can't wait. It's just, oh my God, they go bananas. So yeah,
and they'll do anything for it.
They will. All right. So your son, I'm getting first Wi-Fi, which just means that he might be able to hear of a job online. There might be a job. I don't know if he has a job in place, but maybe Craigslist. Maybe he can find it through Indeed or one of those types of places. But of course, online is a way we find a lot of things these days. I'm getting the Buddha, and that's my personal avatar. That means yes to me. That just to me.
I'm getting yes too. So many positive responses. Oh, cut it out. Are you serious?
He's rubbing the magic lamp. I think he's going to like it. Yeah, I think he's going to like it.
That's wonderful.
Uh-huh.
That's wonderful. And I got the 5 of Wands in reverse.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think it's going to be difficult at all. Uh-huh. And the World in reverse. So new beginning.
Okay. New beginning for him.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really wonderful. Yes, it is. That's a good reading. That's a good reading for your son. Faye, you've been married 42 years. Not all of them are happy, but we persevered and found happiness. You know what? Good for you, girl, because it isn't all happy. It doesn't work that way. So I get it totally. I do. But that's
Right.
really wonderful. Congratulations.
And if you did say they were all happy, we'd know you were lying.
I would say, wait a minute.
You know, we don't have to be psychic
Nothing
for that.
bothers you. Nothing bothers you.
That's right.
Oh, thanks for the feedback, Corey. I surely hope that the energies remain strong for this reading for you, and that he gets this job and loves it. So,
yeah,
very
I feel
good.
like he's turned the corner.
Definitely turn the corner. There you go.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that we've only got about 5 minutes left, but it goes really fast for some reason, and there we go. But I would love it if everybody goes over to Soul Spa, and the information is in the chat about how to get there, and like and subscribe, and maybe even ask for a reading of your records or a regression. Yeah. The best thing I ever did was a regression, and my daughter actually, she was regressed by somebody for a situation that happened when she was 12. And I sat with her and held her hand as they regressed her. She was very young still. She wasn't an adult yet. So I approved it. Yeah. And it changed her completely in order to heal with that. And she was able, it was an abuser, and she was able to go up to that abuser at like 25 years old and not feel. Beautiful. Yeah. So it doesn't happen.
Really, I call it the holy grail of healing, you know.
It is. It is.
Really is amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
It really.
Yep. It is. There's just something so you think to yourself, wow, this was really easy. How come I didn't know it was so easy? Because we just work so hard to fight through life, and then we realize at the end, oh, we knew it all along. We knew it by what was happening and what we were doing and how we were doing it. So, yeah, that's awesome.
We need help along the way, for sure.
We do need help, or with even with dark nights, or the narcissistic thing, all those things. If you got ears to listen, and you have any kind of empathic, intuitive, ability, then you know that that's very important. That really helps, knowing you're not the only one that went through something like that. So
yeah, absolutely,
wonderful.
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys are funny.
What?
Carolyn Ochoa says
the same man.
I was married to 4 different. Carolyn, you and I are the same. I've been married to 4 different men as well. I've been married to the last one for 20. I married him in 2000, so 23 years in November. And the others were 3, 3, and 12. So I guess I probably will catch up with you, but it takes 4 men and somebody.
Love it. And you know what? You're not going to stop trying. So
you're not going to. No. Well, if it happens again, I said this was the last one, but I had a psychic tell me when I was married to my 3rd husband that I would have 4 husbands, and I think I must have had that in my mind. Yeah, I did. I said no.
She's wrong. She needs a new job. I love that.
Anyway, it's fun to laugh about it. No, you're not alone. So, Carolyn, you're not alone. And neither my friend Mary is also married to 3 or 4 other men too. So yeah, give me a break. That's what our dark night was. Every divorce.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you all. Thank you, Jodi, for being here with me today, and how synchronistic it was with where you were before you came, and so on and so forth. It's amazing. And thank you to everybody who is here in the chat. Love you guys. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.